Hello everyone, Mansi here. As we were discussing in the last lecture, we were done discussing pointers and its types, and also the introduction of arrays and how to declare and initialize one dimensional arrays with the help of an example. So let us now proceed where we left on how to input data in arrays and how to read data from arrays. Here's an example, and in this example, for loop and scanf statements is used to enter the data into an array. So you can use any loop to input data, not just for loop, it's not mandatory. And we have to use this printf command here to read and print the data from the array. So this was all about one-dimensional arrays. Now what are two-dimensional arrays? Two-dimensional arrays are nothing but arrays of array, or we can say it's a list of one-dimensional arrays. They are generally referred to as a matrix. This here is the declaration, clear as the crystal. First you need to specify the data type, then the array name, and then the number of rows and the columns. See, in this particular example here, my array is of 3 rows and 4 columns, and the subscript starts executing from A11 and J11. That is the first value of the array. So always it's gonna be initialized from this. This is the first element. This is the first subscript, so that's it. Next is the initialization of 2D arrays and accessing data from 2D arrays. So here's the syntax. It's almost the same as we defined for one-dimensional arrays, but here we need to specify both rows and columns, and that's a difference because it isn't single dimensional, it's multi-dimensional, and 1D arrays were single dimensional. So let's take an example. Here also there are two methods for initializing an array, and you can choose either of them as per your convenience, and you can run this program and obtain the output. So this is pretty much it for the introductory knowledge for 2D arrays, but there's a lot to explore. Anyways, moving on to pointers with one-dimensional arrays. When an array is declared, compiler allocates sufficient amount of memory to contain all the elements of the array. Base address, that is the address of the first element of the array, that is also allocated by the compiler only. Now suppose we declare an array, let's say ARR, assuming the base address of R is 1000, and each integer requires 2 bits, that is integer variable, and that means there are 5 elements because we have defined 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they are going to be stored as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here variable ARR will give the base address, which is a constant pointer pointing to that element ARR0. ARR and ARR0 here are equivalent because this is our base address and this is our first element. Similarly, in this example, it was the first element, that's why I was pointing it to it. So assuming that this base address of ARR is 1000 and each integer required 2 bits, so we have stored these 5 elements. Now ARR is containing the address of ARR0, that is 1000. Now if you write ARR also, you'll get 1000, and if you write ARR0, you'll still get 1000 as the address. In short, ARR now has two purposes, that is, it is the name of an array and it acts as a pointer which is pointing towards the head of the first element in this array. So we can declare a pointer of type int to point to the array ARR. Now we can, so this int is pointing to this here first element. So we can access every element of array ARR using this p++, just to increment it to move from one element to another. Now when this is pointing to this, we'll increment it to 1, we'll get the address of this, and so on. Here's another example. We can use a pointer to point to an array, and then we can use that pointer to access the array. We know this. So in this program, the pointer star p will print all the values stored in the array one by one. We can also use this base address that was, for in this example it was ARR, so to act as a pointer. So base address can be used to act as a pointer and print all the values. In this case it is p will print all the values. So when we replace the printf %d p, that means printf for in this example, here's another example. So if we replace this %d and start with the statement here, so we'll get some following outputs such like these. If we replace it by AI, we'll get, which will print the array by incrementing the index. If we replace it by this, we'll also print elements of array. This will print address of all the array elements. This will print values of array element, and this will print value of A0, that is the base address only. And this one will give the compile time error because we cannot change base address of the array. So this is a generalized form for using pointer for the one-dimensional array. Next is pointers to multi-dimensional array. A multi-dimensional array is of form AIJ here. Let's see how can make a pointer point to such an array. As we know that name of the array gives its base address, so when aij, a will give the base address of this array, and even a plus 0 will also give the base address. That is, if we put I equals to 0 and j equals to 0, it will still give the base address as a. So this is a generalized form for using pointer with multi-dimensional arrays. Moving on to passing arrays to functions. When we declare function with array in parameter list, there are two possible ways to do so. We can either have an array in parameter, or we can have a pointer in parameter list to hold the base address of an array, and this is the general syntax for this way, and this is for the second method. So returning array from a function. This is a very general introduction for arrays. I'm really sorry about that. Next is returning array from function. We actually don't return an array from functions. Instead, we return a pointer holding the base address of the array to be returned. But we must make sure that the array exists after the function ends. Let's have a look at this example here. In this program, we are actually calculating the sum of all the array elements and then displaying its total result. So that's it. Just try implementing it in your command line. So that's all for the introduction of pointers and arrays in C. I hope it helps. Thank you for watching.